Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. Let's talk with Yolanda. How you feel today? It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful outside. Hermoso días. Day precioso. I am grateful that you take the time to tune in on this absolutely beautiful day. So before we start, I want to do some breathing exercise, and we want to talk about how do you know? How do you know that you have depression? What are the signs, okay? Do you know the warning signs, all right? So on 3, we're going to breathe in, breathe out. Come on, do it along with me. And if you don't want to do it along with me, that's fine as well, but you may want to pass it on to someone else, okay? So on 3, we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's get started. How you feeling today? Yes. I wanted to talk to you today about depression because there's so much stuff going on. And yes, the violence is still plaguing our street, has decreased a little bit, but yes, it still plagues our street. So I would like to talk about the different factors, like what's going on in Kabul, it's major, what's going on in Haiti, the magnitude of all the losses, that grief factor, whether you were there to experience it or whether you're here and you have loved ones there, or know someone there, or you don't even have to know someone there. It's just human beings. The loss of life, period, can be devastating. How do you know the different signs of depression? Because depression could be knocking on your door and you don't even know the signs. So if you don't know the signs, you can be in a dark space and not even know that you're in a dark space. First, I want to start off and say, I hope that you open your blinds, open your windows, let a little bit of air come in to just bring some fresh air in, and maybe change your perspective, okay? Bring a little light in, because there may be some dark moments and you can alter that mood, okay? I wanted to talk about depression. There's so many different signs to look out for. Let's start off first with a sleep hygiene, okay? Are you getting the sleep that you need? You may have slept for, on a scale, 5 to 7 hours, possibly 7 or more hours. However, lately, something's going on where your sleep pattern is broken and you're either waking up every hour on the hour, or possibly you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you can't go back to sleep, So the sleep hygiene presents a problem, okay? Your eating habit. You may have at one point ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and now you notice that your appetite has increased where you're eating all day. It's like you're binging. Or the opposite rollback of that is you're not eating at all, okay? let's talk about isolation. We've talked about the sleeping hygiene. We talked about your eating pattern. Let's talk about isolation. You may have been a person that was very social, and now you find yourself passing up the different events that come your way that you may have been invited to. You're passing them up and saying, oh no, I can't make that one. Or you possibly can just be staying in your room. You could be staying in your room, staying away from people, and totally isolating yourself. Sometimes you can get lost in that space, in that time, and not wanting to be around people, or saying, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't want to be in a crowd. I don't like to be around people. Could be another factor, okay? Mood swings. So we talked about a little of the sleep hygiene. We talked a little about the eating habits, and we talked a little about isolation. And now let's talk about mood swings, where your moods alter, and they could go from a 1 to a 25, okay? And not know why they're going like that. Or it could be at your highest, or it could be at your lowest. It's always a measurable and a frequency of time or duration, okay? Because if you cannot measure it, you don't know what to compare it to, So you may say, my mood changed and it was at its highest peak, and it went from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or it went from 3:30 to 4:30, or it went from 3:30 to quarter of, so that frequency and duration, is something that's measurable. It's something that's measurable, and it's something to record, okay? Hello, people. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about depression, and we're talking about the different factors that play a role, okay? Let's talk about, okay, we talked a little bit about rehashing. We talked a little bit about sleep hygiene. And yes, sleep hygiene is very important, because if you cannot sleep, and if you do not have a good night's sleep, you might say, oh, I need to change the mattress, or I might need to buy some pillows. But if your sleeping is off, how can you possibly be productive the next day? Because your body is like a time clock, and is saying, hey, you didn't get the rest that I needed. I need to have rest, so that my body could be nourished. So sleep hygiene is important. Sleep hygiene is important, because if you're running on 2 or 3 hours, it's like a car. If you don't have the oil or the transmission fluid or the different fluids it needs, it kind of acts up, and it may not run and be as proficient as it could be, okay? We talked about the eating, whether there was overeating habits, or so it increased, or did it decrease? Still, it's a measure. It's measurable, okay? It's a duration, it's measurable, and we talk about the frequency of it. The frequency, are you eating all day, or are you not eating at all, okay? We talked about isolation. We talked about isolation because are you isolating in your room, or is everyone calling you up all week and they're like, hey, I haven't been able to contact you. What's going on? Where are you at? And you're like, I was home. Well, I've been calling you. You haven't answered the phone. Something's going on. You know, this is a red flag. Something's going on. Why are you not collaborating with others? You know, why are you shut down? Okay? So we talked about sleeping hygiene, we talked about an eating pattern, we talked about isolation, excuse me. We talked about altering your mood, and let's talk about crying. You know, you can have crying spells, you know, like you wake up and you just start crying and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm crying for. Or throughout the day, there may have been 3 or 4 episodes of just crying spells, and you know, you wasn't sure of why you were crying, but you were crying, and sometimes the crying lasts for 10 minutes, sometimes the crying lasts for an hour, sometimes the crying lasts all day, and again, you haven't slept, you know, you haven't eaten, or you're eating and it's like you can't get full because you're binging, or you're isolating, and you also have the crying spells, okay? Or, you know, you wake up, and when you wake up, you know, I'm going to take a little sip of water, okay? Today I have some lime mineral water. Just take a little sip. It's very good. It's just lime, some mineral waters, you know. So let's talk about, we talked about crying spells. Let's talk about sadness. You know, you wake up and you feel sad. You feel hopeless. You feel there's no hope for the future. You feel the world is coming to an end. You feel sad because of something that happened maybe 10 years ago, that something triggered it and you're festing on it, but you can't seem to shake it, and it's just there, and it's just festering, and you know, the sadness comes along with the crying. And let's talk about measurable time. It can be 15 minutes, it could be a half a day, it could be all day, okay? Let's talk about, we talked about mood, altering your mood, and we talked about the crying spells, but let's talk about anger. Can we talk? Hey people, how you feel out there? Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about anger. You know, you may perhaps wake up and you're angry, you know, not even sure why you're angry, you know, you're just angry. Everything irritates you. You know, you're irritated or agitated from any and everything, you know. Everything bothers you, whether if you were in a house and you were isolating, you may have been angry because you woke up too early, or someone in the house with you is talking and you're angry because they're talking, or you're angry because something was in your way. Instead of picking it up, moving it to the other side, you know, it's something to put in that bag that you just have in that bowl that we're mixing. It's like a tossed salad. You know, you have this gigantic bowl and we're going to add stuff to the bowl. So what we added first, we added sleep hygiene into the mix. We added isolation in the mix. We added mood swings in the mix. We added eating pattern habits, in the mix. We added sadness, crying, all in the mix, and we're mixing all of these things up, and we added irritation, we added sadness, we added crying. So we have all these things in this salad bowl. Yes, it can put you in a dark space. Because one, that hope for future, that hope for today, hope for tomorrow, it doesn't seem like it's visible, okay? Your tone of voice, okay, could be high scale, or it could be low, whereas if you can't hear when somebody's talking and they have to constantly say, what did you say? What did you say? It's like different moods, different personalities can come out, okay? Let's talk about personal hygiene, okay? Are you with me, people? How you doing today? Thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Major, okay? Let's talk about hygiene. Let's talk about hygiene if you are a person that take a bath in the morning. You are a person that maybe, it's hot, it's 90, it's 100 degrees. You might want to come in and shower, right? You may want to shower before you go to bed. So now, you didn't take a shower that morning. You didn't brush your teeth, for the hygiene, okay? You didn't even wash your face. And you got up and you said, hey, you haven't washed, you haven't had any sleep, you haven't did any grooming to your hair, and then there's an odor, because if you're not taking a bath, and if it's 100 degrees outside, it's going to bring an odor, okay? So you have this odor that goes along with you, but yet someone else can smell it, but you're cut off from it. So that's a problem. Something is wrong, okay? Or, again, you come and sit down and you start crying, and the crying is not just tears falling and trickling down. There's massive crying, whereas if it's uncontrollable, okay? And you don't even know why you're crying, okay? To the point, if someone was around you, they're like, do we need some help here? Because I'm talking to you and I'm not getting through. Do we need some prevention? Something's wrong, people. Something's wrong. And these are different things that we need to look out for. Or let's talk about the tone. Because when we talked about speech, okay, we talked about, was the high pitch high or was the pitch very low? The pitch could be aggressive. The pitch could be irritable. The pitch could be threatening. The pitch could be a shutdown of silence. How about that? Okay? So, these are different factors that something is wrong, okay? Or if you were a bubbly type person and you like the bright colors and, you know, your energy was like out of the roof, but now you are wearing a dark color. And it's okay if you're wearing dark colors, but it's something to look at when you're wearing, hypothetically, let's say black. But let's say black is not one of your colors that you would normally wear. And I noticed that every day of that week, if it wasn't the same outfit, it was a different outfit, but it was black, okay? It was black. And your clothes, let's talk about your grooming again, was disheveled, okay? Whether your blouse was crossed over or you just was not neatly dressed, okay? Because it's a difference. It's a difference in being in lounge clothes, and it's a difference being disheveled, okay? It's a difference being disheveled and having a body odor. It's a difference when you shut down, okay? When you shut down, it's a problem. Can we talk about it, people? Depression is real, okay? Depression is real, and you have to know warning signs, you know. You have to know the frequency, the duration, you know, so that it's measurable, okay? That is measurable because you can compare it, you know. It's like today is Tuesday. Journaling is awesome. Homework assignments is awesome because you have something to compare, okay? It's like contrast, compare. You know, it's like if you journal today on a Tuesday and you journal last Tuesday, and if you go back to compare your notes and you say, last Tuesday I woke up, I had a migraine headache. I'm a person that don't get headaches, but I had a really bad headache and I just couldn't seem to shake it. One, it was probably a headache from a lot of stress, okay? Then you can say, last Tuesday I did not sleep well. I didn't sleep at all. Okay, how many hours did you sleep? Well, I woke up, and when I woke up, I just couldn't go back to sleep, so I just sat up. Well, what did you do? Did you turn the TV on? No. Did you listen to some music? No. What did you do? I just sat there. So you're saying that you woke up at 3 and you just sat there in a daze, okay? What were you thinking? I don't know. What was going through your mind? I'm not sure. Okay. So then you say last Tuesday, I didn't really eat all week. So what did you eat? I might have snacked on something here and there, you know. Okay. Last Tuesday, did you go outside? No. Last Tuesday, I stayed in my room. Okay. How long did you stay in your room? I stayed in my room all day. What did you do in your room? I didn't do anything. Okay. Did you sit on your bed? Yeah. Did you read a book? No. Did you write? No. What did you do? I just sat there. Hello, people. Let's talk. Is this making sense? Okay. Is this making sense? Because these are some of the signs that you need to look out for. Okay. Drink a little bit of my water. This is sparkling water with a twist of lime. Pretty good. Water is good for you. Water is good for you. And then when we talk about eating patterns or eating habits, you may have been a person that drink water. I love water, self-disclose. But there's people that do not take in any water during the day, or may have been a person that loved water, and then, you know, their skin starts to break out and you're like, what's going on? Have you been drinking water? No, I haven't been drinking water. Okay, let's talk again about the grooming, okay? The self-grooming, the personal grooming, the personal hygiene. Is any of this making sense to you people? Let's talk, okay? Because again, this is real. And if it's real to you, it's real to me. I am a psychotherapist, and these are some of the signs and traits of depression, whether it was mild depression, whether it was going into a major or severe depression. But these are some of the signs to look out for and your warning signs, because you want to get to the next step. But if things are going on and you do not recognize them or do not want to recognize them, it can be a problem, because it manifests into something like you're cooking and the stove, on the stove, and the water boils over if you don't watch it, okay? It could be like a time bomb, ready to explode, okay? It's okay if you're going through these moods. It's okay if you feel like you do need to talk to somebody. We all need someone to talk to, okay? You can get professional help. You can talk to someone in your family. But it's very important to just look at the different signs and symptoms that can be present. You know, this is positive for you to look at for someone that's around you, whether it's a loved one that's around you, whether it's your neighbor. Something's wrong, and maybe you need to have a conversation. You know, if, again, when we talked about physical signs, you know, if you're looking serious all the time, you know, and there's no laughter, there's no joy, there's no sense of hope, you can see it. You know, you can look at a person, and if you care about this person, whether this person's in your family, whether this is your neighbor, whether this is a stranger, you know, again, assess, okay? Assessing a person for traits, okay? You can say, what are your strengths? What are your challenges? However, if you notice that this person was always well groomed, and this person came around and again the hygiene was off, you know, and the grooming was off, you know, maybe circles underneath the eye shows there hasn't been any sleep deprivation, whether, you know, the teeth look like the hygiene was poor, or whether, you know, concentration, you know, talking about cognitive, you know, the thinking pattern was off, you know, or, you know, the concentration of memory loss, okay? These are different factors. Are you following me, people? How you doing? So the next few sessions, I'm going to present to you depression and the warning signs and the symptoms. And there's so many different factors, again, can bring these things on. Worrying, I didn't bring that one up. Let's talk about that before I go. Excessive worrying, okay? Worrying about everything, okay? Worrying about their stuff, your stuff, and somebody else's, okay? Worrying about things that is out of their control, worrying about things that they can't even change, okay? Worrying about the what ifs, okay? Or what could, or what has, okay? It can go into a depression, okay? It's like worrying about, okay, our children are going back to school and I'm worried about that. They have to wear masks. I'm worried about that. The COVID, I'm worried about that. It's shootings every day. I'm worried about that. These are excessive worrying, okay? I'm worrying about somebody that I lost, or I just watched the news, and on the news I seen what was going on in Kabul, and it just had me really worried. I'm worried that I cannot go outside, or I'm worried that if somebody goes out, something's going to happen. That's excessive worrying. That's a problem. It's a problem because anything that can alter your behavior or stunt your growth as far as your development, or interferes with your daily activity, can be a problem, okay? So I suggest that if you have a book, start jotting down. Start jotting down, because there's a time for frequency, the duration. So how long did something last? If you were isolating, did you isolate Tuesday all day, half a day, an hour? Or did you isolate Tuesday? You was isolating Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, okay? It's a problem. If there's problems with your sleeping pattern, write it down. When you woke up and you said you did nothing but you just laid there, maybe you may want to jot down, what time is it? Let me jot this down. Did I go back to sleep? Did I stay woke? And what did I do? Okay? Crying. Did you cry when you woke up? Did you cry? You was on a bus, public transportation, just going somewhere, you just broke down crying. You was sitting out front of your door, you just started crying. These things are important to jot down, because again, you have something to work with and something that's measurable, okay? And if that person does not do this, this may be something that you may want to do if you notice that someone is having these different changes, or their behavior has been altered, okay? So I say, if you are isolating, and having excessive fear, and don't want to go outside because you say you're going to catch COVID, or you may get shot, that's a fear, and it's a real fear, and it's something for you to talk about. And if you need a professional person to talk about it, it's okay. You're not alone, and your feelings are real and you're validated. And If it's real to you, it's real to me. Okay? But let's do something. Let's do something about it. Excuse me. So today, I leave you with different signs to look out for. And get a journal. You know, get a journal and journal your daily activity. You know, if it's 12:35 and if you haven't taken a shower, you may want to go take one. And then if you say, no, I don't want to take one, I'm not even going to take one today, ask yourself why. You know, what's going on? What is the hidden factor? Okay? Can we talk, people? You know, I have enjoyed talking with you today. Before we go out, I do have a quote, and the quote goes, don't dwell on your troubles. Rather than worrying about or questioning the direction your life has taken, accept the fact that there is a path before you now. Shake off the whys and what ifs and rid yourself of confusion. Whatever was is in the past. Whatever is what's important. Vicky Silvers, okay? I think that was appropriate for today because sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we get stuck in a dark place and don't know how to get out of it. And it's important, it's very important for us to figure out and see where our GPS is going, because if we're in the driver's seat and we have no direction of where we're going, maybe we need to move over and let someone else take us where we need to go. Okay? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to recognize the symptoms. But again, if you're having any of these symptoms, it's something for you to say, maybe I do need to talk to someone about it. Maybe I need to talk to someone about it, because if it goes untreated, it gets worse. It doesn't get any better. So it increases. It doesn't decrease. Okay? You know, if you have a spiritual belief, pull on it for your strength, because you always want to work with your strengths more than your challenges, because your strength will help you be empowered to move to the next level, to the next stage. Okay? It's important. It's important to be vocal, you know, not shut down. And again, if you do not want to be vocal, write it down. Write it down. Write it down. And, you know, you may want to go to a family member if you don't want to get professional help, and say, I've been going through these different changes, and, you know, is it possible for you to look out when you see any of these signs or traits to, you know, let me know, because something is wrong, you know? You can be in a dark space, but you do not have to stay in a dark space, okay? You can have depression and depression traits, and you can learn to work the depression, not the depression work you, okay? It's important. It's important, people. It's important because you want to move forward and you want to have hope and hope for the future, to have a brighter day today. I have enjoyed coming on this platform and being able to share. If this helps you, share it. If it doesn't help you, share it because it may help someone else, okay? Please write in the comment section. If you're having domestic violence, I will post the number. If you're having suicidal ideations, I will post the number. If there's drug and alcohol issues, I will post the number. If you would like to talk with, Let's Talk with Yolanda, if you would like to schedule an appointment with me, I will also post my number. My number is 267-574-4632, and I will post it as well, okay? You're not alone. There is tons of resources and tons of people, places, and things that can help you and help you walk through whatever you may be going through. It is absolutely a beautiful day. I hope that you open your blinds and let a little bit of sun come in and maybe change or alter your mood into a mood that you may want to go take a walk. If physically you're not able to take a walk, maybe you could just open the front door and get a little bit of fresh air, you know. But before I go, I would like to say, again, with the excessive worrying, that can dwindle down and it can cause so many other factors in your life, you know. So if you're in a dark space and if any of these symptoms are going on, they can create other symptoms. So we kind of want to fix the problem, you know, not just let it fester or ignore it like it doesn't exist. If it's real, it's real, okay? On that note, I'm going to say I have enjoyed you today. It is absolutely a beautiful day. And no, I am here in my gold chairs, but yes, I am going to go out. I'm going to get some of that air to let the air touch my skin. And I hope you're doing the same. Please, if you have a notebook, piece of paper, jot down what's going on with you and let somebody in. You are not alone, okay? And there's plenty of help. God's will, I'll be back on Friday. Love yourself, love your neighbor, do self-care. It's very important, okay? Maybe to end us out, you may want to just get a list and say, these are 5 positive traits that I have, and these are 5 challenges I have, or barriers, okay? And I am going to work around these barriers and challenges to move forward, because you can have depression and it can be manageable. If you need help, you need help. It's okay, all right? So on that note, enjoy your day. I have enjoyed this time with you. I thank you so much. And again, share it. Somebody else can use it. Have a good day. Talk with you later. Until we meet again, see you later.